Welcome, traveller of time. You've arrived at the edge of night, that still, silver moment between waking and dreaming. The air around you is quiet now. The world has begun to soften, its edges blurred by dusk. You are safe here, calm, unhurried. This is your passageway into another world, a realm of myth, of soft torches and whispering wind, where you will awaken in King Arthur's medieval kingdom. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it go slowly. Feel the air leave your lungs, carrying the last traces of your day away with it. You have no tasks left to complete, no thoughts that need tending. This is your time, your quiet return to the calm of history's embrace. Let your breath settle into a rhythm, steady and smooth, like the rise and fall of gentle waves on a moonlit shore. With each exhale, imagine yourself sinking deeper into comfort, further from the noise of the world. The more you breathe, the lighter you feel, until all that remains is stillness. Now picture this. A faint mist curls across an ancient valley. The sun has just slipped below the hills, and the last light paints the sky in soft gold and fading blue. In the distance, a bell tolls, deep and slow, its echo rolling across the landscape like the voice of time itself. You follow the sound, walking through the mist in your mind. Each step brings you closer to another age. You begin to hear the faint hum of distant life, the rhythm of hooves on cobblestone, the whisper of a river winding through the fields, the flicker of torches guiding travellers home. And then, through the veil of fog, you see it, the kingdom of Camelot. Its towers rise like gentle shadows against the morning sky. Smoke curls from the hearths of small cottages below, their roofs thatched with straw, their windows glowing softly with candlelight. There is peace in this place, a peace that lingers like the hush of a prayer. As you draw closer, the air grows warmer. You smell the faint scent of oak and rain-soaked earth. The streets are narrow and calm. A blacksmith's hammer strikes somewhere in the distance. Slow, steady, rhythmic, the sound echoes through the sleeping village like a heartbeat. And above it all, the great castle stands. Its walls shimmer faintly under the moonlight, their stone faces weathered but strong. You can almost hear the soft murmur of guards at their posts, the gentle clink of armor shifting as they breathe. There is no fear here, no battle, only the quiet vigilance of a world at rest. You reach a wooden gate, slightly open. Beyond it, the faint glow of a courtyard fire beckons you forward. You step through, the sound of gravel soft beneath your feet, and the warmth of the flames touches your skin. Somewhere within the castle, a harp begins to play, its notes delicate and slow, drifting like mist. The melody wraps around you, carrying you further away from the present moment, further into calm. You find yourself inside a small chamber now, walls of stone, a bed of linen, a wooden chest by the window. A single candle burns beside you, its flame steady and golden. You sit upon the bed, its rough fabric cool beneath your hands. Outside the wind stirs, whispering softly through the shutters. You close your eyes and listen to the harp, the fire, the bells still tolling faintly in the hills. Every sound blends into one gentle lullaby, the song of a kingdom long past, but not forgotten. You take another breath, slow and full. The candle flickers once, twice, and steadies. The air is heavy with calm, thick with sleep, and as you sit there you realize you are not a visitor. You are part of this story. For tonight, you are waking up in the time of Arthur, not as a king or a knight, but as a quiet traveller, a soul woven into the stillness of this world. The bell tolls once more, the harp fades, and the story begins to breathe around you, calm, slow, ancient. You are safe, you are calm, you are home in the heart of history. And so, with the softest breath, the journey begins. A faint golden light filters through the wooden shutters. It falls across your hands, soft and warm, like sunlight caught in water. For a moment, you lie still, feeling the quiet hum of life begin to return. Somewhere in the distance, a rooster calls. The sound is gentle, unhurried. Not an alarm, but a greeting from another time. You open your eyes, slowly, letting the light guide you back to awareness. The stone walls around you glow with dawn's touch. The air carries the faint scent of fresh bread and dew. You are in a small chamber within the heart of Camelot. The world outside has just begun to stir. A linen blanket rests lightly over you, rough but comforting. You trace your fingers along its woven threads, feeling each strand like a link to a forgotten craft. Beside you, the candle from last night has burned low, a thin trail of smoke curling upward, faint and sweet. You rise quietly, your feet touching the cool floor. The stones hold the memory of the night, smooth and slightly chilled beneath your skin. You move to the window and open the shutters. The hinges creak softly, and the light floods in, golden and pure. Below, the courtyard breathes with morning life. A stable boy leads 2 horses toward the gate, their hooves clopping softly on the cobblestone. A washerwoman hangs cloth on a line near the well, her movements rhythmic, her song a soft hum carried by the wind. Farther off, you see a group of knights walking toward the training field. Their armor catches the light like ripples on water. They do not speak loudly, only quiet greetings exchanged in deep, steady tones. Even here, in the heart of legend, the morning is peaceful, ordinary, human. You close your eyes for a moment and listen. The world sings in subtle harmony. Footsteps, laughter, the soft rush of wind through banners above. The air feels alive but calm, filled with promise. You dress in simple linen robes that rest folded on a wooden stool. The fabric smells faintly of lavender. As you tie the cord around your waist, you feel the gentle weight of time, not heavy but grounding. You are part of this rhythm now, part of this waking world that breathes in history and exhales peace. You step outside. The morning sun greets you like an old friend. Its warmth spills across the courtyard stones, chasing away the last traces of mist. A dog barks once near the gate, tail wagging lazily. A pair of doves flutter from the eaves above, their wings a whisper in the golden air. The blacksmith's forge begins to hum again, slow, patient, measured. Each strike of the hammer echoes like a heartbeat through the walls of the castle. The scent of iron mingles with the freshness of morning grass. Beyond the courtyard, you can see the distant outline of the great hall. Its tall wooden doors stand open, and the faint sound of voices drifts from within. Servants preparing for the day's council, the clink of cups being set on long oak tables. You walk slowly toward it, each step light, unhurried, as though the earth itself moves in time with your breath. A gentle wind rises, tugging softly at your sleeves. It carries with it the scent of wildflowers and the faint smoke from nearby hearths. The sound of a lute drifts through the air. Someone, perhaps a bard, tuning their strings in preparation for the morning's gathering. You pause, closing your eyes again. You listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Every sound, every scent, every flicker of light settles into you like layers of calm. For a moment, you think of how strange it feels to be awake in a place where history breathes. Yet there is nothing foreign here, no distance, no barrier of time, only the quiet rhythm of life, steady and true, unchanged by centuries. You take another deep breath, letting the cool morning air fill your lungs. The sound of the forge fades, replaced by the chirping of birds in the nearby orchard. Somewhere beyond the walls, a bell rings again, soft, measured, familiar. The city of Camelot has fully awakened, but it feels as though it has been waiting for you. Patiently, tenderly. The streets below are alive with gentle motion. Merchants open their stalls, children chase one another through narrow paths, and the smell of warm bread drifts through the morning air like an invitation. You stand in stillness, a traveler suspended in time. The world hums softly around you, its music ancient and kind. You are calm, you are grounded, you are fully here in this moment, the quiet morning of Camelot. The day begins, but the peace remains, deep and unbroken, and as the scene fades softly into the next, your journey through King Arthur's kingdom truly begins. The world around you stirs with the hush of dawn. A pale light drifts through the fog, brushing across stone towers and narrow paths lined with dew. The air carries the cool scent of iron and wood smoke, the faint trace of earth freshly turned by horses' hooves. For a moment, the sound is still. No rush, no voices. Only the quiet breathing of a medieval kingdom, waking beneath a gentle sky. You open your eyes, and the world is older now. The sound of the modern world has faded away, replaced by the soft crackle of torches, the muted roll of wagon wheels over cobblestones, and the distant song of a rooster greeting the dawn. The year is somewhere around 800 AD, though time feels slower here, softer, stretched between the rhythm of nature and the heartbeat of the land itself. Far off, the first rays of sunlight begin to spill across the towers of Camelot, brushing their golden tips like a quiet benediction. Mist curls around the base of the great walls, wrapping the kingdom in a dreamlike veil. The scent of baking bread drifts from somewhere unseen, blending with the aroma of hay, horses, and the faint sweetness of early spring flowers. A bell tolls in the distance, low, deliberate, echoing through the valley like a breath held and released. It is the morning call from the abbey, marking the beginning of another day in King Arthur's realm. The sound rolls over the rooftops, through courtyards, down stone corridors, until it reaches the quiet square where you stand. You feel the hum of life awaken, the shuffle of boots, the murmur of traders setting up their stalls, the whinny of a horse tugging at its reins. The streets are narrow, but alive with small movements. A baker wipes flour from his hands as he arranges loaves on a wooden table. A young boy runs past carrying a bundle of firewood, his laughter echoing briefly before fading into the mist. Women draw water from the well, their linen dresses swaying gently as they speak in low tones. Every sound, every breath is unhurried, as if the world itself has learned the art of patience. You take a slow breath, and the air feels ancient, layered with stories. Somewhere, a lute plays softly, its melody floating through the morning light. The tune feels familiar, though you can't quite place it, like a song half remembered from another lifetime. You follow the sound until you reach the edge of the market square. Wooden stalls are being set up, their tables covered in woven fabrics, clay pots, and tools forged by steady hands. A blacksmith nearby begins his day. The rhythmic clang of his hammer rings out, deep and sure, echoing off the stone walls. Sparks leap like fireflies as he works, each stroke measured, deliberate. The sound, though sharp, is soothing. A reminder of human persistence, of creation born from fire and strength. Around him, the glow of the forge flickers, painting his face in shades of gold and amber. He pauses once, wipes sweat from his brow, and glances toward the sunrise, whispering a small prayer for another good day. The people here move with quiet purpose. No one rushes. Time seems to flow like a gentle river. You can almost feel it. The rhythm of life guided by daylight and moonlight, by seasons and harvests. Beyond the square, the fields stretch wide and green, dotted with grazing sheep and farmers tilling the soil. The hills roll softly into the horizon, their tops crowned by mist. And there, beyond the far fields, the castle of Camelot rises, vast, timeless, serene. Its towers reach toward the morning sky, banners fluttering in the breeze. The drawbridge stands lowered over a clear stream, its wooden planks still damp with dew. Guards in chainmail stand at their posts, their spears catching the sunlight like slivers of silver. A flag bearing the sigil of the once and future king ripples softly. The golden dragon, symbol of courage and wisdom. You feel drawn toward it, not with urgency, but with a calm curiosity, as if your soul remembers the path. The castle gates seem impossibly tall, but there is no fear here. The scent of herbs drifts from the gardens within. You hear the soft clatter of dishes from the kitchens and the muffled laughter of the early risers inside. It's a place that feels alive, but peaceful. A heart that beats gently at the center of this ancient world. The sky brightens slowly, the light of morning now warming the rooftops and distant hills. Birds gather along the stone ledges, their songs mingling with the soft murmur of life below. The world of King Arthur, this medieval realm of myth and memory, doesn't roar with grandeur. It whispers, it invites, it feels like a story retold not to amaze, but to comfort. A place where even time takes its rest. You pause at the edge of a cobblestone bridge, watching the river glide beneath you. The water moves with a patient grace, reflecting the soft blue of the sky. For a moment, you close your eyes and listen to the hush of the wind, to the steady rhythm of life, to the heartbeat of a world that no longer exists but somehow feels alive again. As you breathe, the past folds around you like a blanket. You are part of this world now, its quiet pulse, its endless dawn. Every sound, every whisper of wind reminds you, history is not gone. It only sleeps, waiting to be remembered by those who listen. The drawbridge creaks softly beneath your feet as you cross into the heart of Camelot. The sound of the river fades behind you, replaced by the low hum of morning life within the castle walls. The world here feels sheltered, protected by stone and faith, warmed by the quiet rhythm of daily tasks. Inside the courtyard, the first rays of the sun spill over everything, washing the cobblestones in pale gold. The air smells faintly of hay and baking bread, of iron and lavender. You pause for a moment and simply breathe it in. The scent of a world balanced between toil and peace. To your left, a pair of stable hands brush the coats of horses, their movements gentle and practiced. The animals breathe deeply, tails swishing lazily, their hides gleaming in the morning light. You hear the soft clink of bridles and the low murmur of words meant not for conversation, but comfort, the kind spoken only to those who work with creatures every day. Beyond the stables, the castle kitchens stir to life. Smoke rises in thin grey curls from stone chimneys as cooks prepare the first meal of the day. A woman with a flour-dusted apron hums softly as she kneads dough on a long wooden table. Somewhere deeper inside, Water splashes, knives tap rhythmically against cutting boards, and the distant laughter of young helpers rings faintly through the open doorway. The smell of warm bread and stewed herbs drifts through the air, mingling with the faint sweetness of early summer flowers from the nearby courtyard garden. The garden itself is small, but lush. Rows of mint, sage and rosemary stretch between stone paths lined with moss. A fountain trickles softly in the centre, the water glinting like liquid glass. The sound is soothing, a soft repetition that seems to calm even the air around it. A monk passes by, his robe brushing lightly against the stones. He nods once as he walks, carrying a basket of herbs toward the infirmary, a quiet building near the back of the courtyard where healers tend to knights and peasants alike. There is peace here too, a kind of gentle purpose that binds every person to something greater than themselves. You wander further, past archways that open into long corridors. The castle is not grand in the way of later palaces. Its beauty lies in its endurance, its simplicity. Thick stone walls hold the cool of night, their surfaces worn smooth by centuries of touch. Wooden beams overhead creak softly as the castle settles into its day. Candles flicker in small alcoves, their flames barely moving in the still air. In one chamber, a group of scribes sits bent over parchment, quills scratching softly. The faint scent of ink and parchment fills the room. One of them looks up briefly and smiles, a silent acknowledgement, before returning to his careful lettering. On the table beside him lies a small, leather-bound book filled with stories of knights, kings, and the dreams of men who dared to believe in honor and truth. You stand for a moment, watching the slow, deliberate motion of his hand. Every stroke is a fragment of memory preserved for someone centuries away. Perhaps for you here now. It feels like a conversation between past and present, held not in words, but in the quiet reverence of work done with purpose. A bell rings softly in the courtyard. Not loud, not urgent, just a gentle chime marking mid-morning. Outside, the village beyond the castle walls begins to hum with life. You step through an open gate, and the cool air greets you once more. The village sprawls gently across the valley below Camelot's hill. Smoke rises from thatched roofs. Chickens wander freely between cottages. The rhythm of the place is slow, unhurried. A song composed of footsteps, laughter, and wind rustling through fields of wheat. A blacksmith hammers at his forge near the centre of town, his anvil ringing with a steady beat that echoes faintly across the market square. Sparks flash like tiny stars before fading into the dim light. The blacksmith pauses only to cool the metal in water, the hiss sharp, yet strangely soothing. You watch as he shapes iron into tools, his arms moving with strength and precision, born of years spent working with fire. Nearby, a weaver stretches colourful threads across her loom. The soft tapping of wood fills the air, blending with the faint chatter of merchants setting up their stalls. Fabric, grain, and pottery line the tables. Goods made by hand, by heart, by time. Children run along the dirt paths, chasing one another in circles, their laughter rising like birdsong. A dog barks once, playful, before settling again beside a shepherd sharpening his staff. The air is rich with scent and sound, but everything feels muted, like a melody played softly so the listener can drift. You take in the sight, the textures of medieval life not as hardship, but as harmony. Every person moves within their purpose, the farmer guiding his oxen, the healer gathering herbs, the storyteller by the well whispering tales of dragons and knights. You realize that in this world, peace is not the absence of work. It is the rhythm of it, the slow, mindful motion of hands that build, mend, and create. As the day drifts onward, sunlight turns the thatched rooftops a soft gold. A breeze passes through the valley, carrying with it the faint toll of the distant abbey bell. Even the birds seem to fly slower here, their wings slicing the warm air in unhurried arcs. You walk toward a low stone wall overlooking the fields. From here, the landscape unfolds in layers: green pastures, silver rivers, and faraway hills rising like sleeping giants. In the distance, Camelot glows softly against the sky, its towers catching the afternoon light. A sense of timelessness settles over you. The world feels whole, balanced, untouched by haste. Every sound, the bell, the river, the wind through the leaves, falls into place like notes in a lullaby. And as you stand there, watching the medieval world move beneath the gaze of the eternal sun, you begin to feel its rhythm syncing with your own heartbeat. Slow, steady, peaceful, for this is not merely history, it is memory. The quiet remembrance of what once was, and what still lives on in the stories we tell before sleep. The light of dawn spreads across Camelot like a whisper, soft, pale, and golden. The mist that once blanketed the valley begins to lift, curling gently around the rooftops and drifting upward like breath released after a long dream. You step through the castle gate, and the morning greets you with warmth, a tender stillness that makes even the smallest sounds, a creaking cart, the flutter of doves, seem part of a quiet rhythm older than memory. The stones beneath your feet are cool and uneven, worn smooth by generations of footsteps. Each echo you leave behind feels softer, as though this ancient place absorbs the sound to preserve its calm. You breathe in deeply. The mingled scents of hearth smoke, damp hay, and freshly baked bread fill the air. Somewhere nearby, a forge crackles to life, the hiss of coal, meeting flame blending with the distant murmur of voices. As you move toward the village square, the sounds of morning awaken like gentle music. The clatter of wooden wheels, the rustle of cloth being hung from stalls, the steady rhythm of hammer against anvil, all of it weaves together into a peaceful harmony. This is life in Camelot, simple yet deeply alive, where every motion has meaning and every moment unfolds with grace. A baker carries baskets of steaming loaves to a small wooden cart. The air is thick with the scent of honey and wheat. He hums as he works, his song half forgotten but warm, passed down perhaps from his father or his father before him. Across the square, a young girl scatters grain for a line of chickens, her laughter soft as the flutter of wings. A potter sets his wheel in motion, his hands guiding wet clay with patient care. Each turn of the wheel feels deliberate, meditative, creation shaped by stillness. You pass beneath the hanging banners that line the street, their colours faded by years of sun and rain, yet still proud. The embroidered sigil of the golden dragon flutters in the breeze, a reminder of the kingdom's strength and its belief in unity. Knights, still half asleep, cross the courtyard in quiet conversation. Their armour gleams faintly in the rising light. They do not march but stroll, their steps unhurried. Duty here feels not like command, but devotion, a daily rhythm as natural as the dawn itself. As you continue walking, the market begins to stir. Merchants arrange baskets of apples, fabrics, and herbs, calling softly to one another. A woman selling honey dips her ladle into a wooden jar, the golden liquid flowing slowly like sunlight made tangible. You pause to watch her work, her movements graceful, practiced, calm. The bees that once made this honey hum faintly in your mind, their labor and patience mirroring the lives of the people here. You notice the way light plays upon the cobblestones, catching in puddles left from the night's rain. Each reflection seems like a portal to another time, another morning, centuries ago, when perhaps another traveler stood here, listening to the same sounds, breathing the same air. The world feels timeless, layered, eternal. You are both in memory, awake yet drifting. Beyond the square lies a quiet street lined with wooden houses. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys, and ivy climbs the walls like threads of green silk. The faint murmur of a lute reaches your ears. Someone strumming softly from an open window. The notes are slow and soothing, floating on the air like falling petals. You pause for a moment, letting the melody settle in your chest. It feels familiar, comforting, a song that knows no age. At the end of the street, a small chapel stands beneath an arch of stone. Its wooden door is open, and inside, candles flicker against the dim light. A monk kneels before the altar, whispering a morning prayer. His voice is low, almost indistinguishable from the sighing of the wind. You linger at the doorway, not as an intruder, but as a listener, allowing the silence between his words to fill you with calm. When you step outside again, the village is fully awake. The blacksmith's forge glows brighter now, sending thin trails of smoke into the sky. The sound of his hammer rings in slow, steady intervals. Clang, hiss, pause. A rhythm that feels almost like a heartbeat. Sparks dance briefly before fading into the soft light. The blacksmith's face glows with quiet focus. Sweat glistens on his brow, but there is peace in his work. Every strike of his hammer tells a story of craft, endurance, and the gentle fire that keeps civilization alive. A group of children gather near the edge of the square, watching the blacksmith shape glowing metal. Their eyes shine with wonder. He smiles at them, lifting his hammer again with an easy grace. Even in his strength, there is gentleness, a balance that seems to define this world. You walk past the forge and follow a narrow path that winds toward the outer walls. Fields stretch beyond, green and gold under the brightening sky. Farmers move like quiet shadows through the crops, their tools glinting in the sun. A shepherd whistles softly to his flock, the sound echoing faintly between the hills. The wind carries the faint scent of grass and earth. Standing there, you realize how still everything feels. Not lifeless, but peacefully alive. Each moment unfolds without demand. The people of Camelot move in harmony with the day, their actions shaped by patience and care. There is no rush, no noise, no urgency, only the steady rhythm of life sustained by faith, labor, and light. You close your eyes for a moment. You can hear the soft rustle of leaves, the quiet hum of bees, the distant toll of a bell from the abbey. Every sound blends into a single tone, low, warm, and steady, like the breath of the earth itself. When you open your eyes again, the sun is higher now. The mist has lifted, revealing the rolling hills and the shining spires of Camelot in full glory. The world feels awake, yet peaceful, as if it knows you are here to witness it in stillness, to walk through it not as a stranger, but as a dreamer traveling through time. And as the morning stretches on, you begin to feel that this journey, this quiet walk through Camelot, is more than history. It is a reminder that even in a world long gone, serenity lives on in memory, waiting patiently for anyone willing to listen. The morning deepens into golden calm as you walk toward the castle's inner court. The air is warmer now, filled with the quiet hum of daily life. A light breeze moves through the banners, brushing them against stone walls with a soft, rhythmic sound. Flap, Hush, flap, like the slow beating of wings. You follow the narrow path lined with torches that have burned through the night. Their smoke still curls faintly upward, leaving behind a scent of oak and oil. Ahead, the great wooden doors of the armory stand half open, and from within, you hear the muted clink of steel and the deep, steady breath of men preparing for the day's duty. Inside, the armory glows with a bronze hue, sunlight filtering through narrow windows, striking rows of polished armor and blades. The light dances along metal like ripples on a still pond. A young knight stands near a workbench, adjusting the strap of his gauntlet. His name, someone whispers nearby, is Sir Alden of the Glen. You watch him move with quiet focus. His armor gleams faintly, not bright and proud as in battle, but muted, softened by years of service. Each buckle he fastens seems to echo with purpose, not pride. His eyes, calm and steady, carry the weight of both courage and kindness. A squire approaches, carrying a freshly oiled sword wrapped in cloth. Alden takes it gently, holding the blade up to the light. He doesn't swing it. Instead, he studies its edge as though reading a story within the steel. When he speaks, his voice is low, deliberate. Every blade, he says softly, remembers the hand that wields it. So treat it with care, and it will never turn against you. His words hang in the air like prayer. The squire nods, silent and reverent. The two stand together in the stillness of the armory, a place of strength made tender by humility. You move past them and follow the echo of footsteps leading outside, toward the training yard. There, the light opens fully, vast and serene. Knights and squires stand in formation, their movements slow, almost meditative. Wooden swords meet with gentle rhythm. Tap, breathe, step. Tap, breathe, step. It is not a scene of war, but of discipline and harmony. The sound of practice blends with the whisper of wind and the distant call of crows above the battlements. Even here, in a place of skill and might, there is balance. Strength guided by stillness. Sir Alden enters the yard, his presence quiet but commanding. The others pause for a moment, acknowledging him with a nod. He lifts his practice sword, not to strike but to demonstrate. His movements are fluid, graceful, each step deliberate, each swing controlled. It feels less like combat and more like a dance, one that honors life rather than seeks to end it. You stand at the edge, watching as sunlight glints off polished steel. The warmth touches your face, the rhythmic motions, the steady breathing, the soft murmurs between knights, all begin to blend together, creating a slow, hypnotic pulse that seems to match your heartbeat. In the distance, a church bell rings once, deep and clear. The sound drifts across the courtyard, settling gently over the gathered men. Training stops. Every knight lowers his sword, bows his head. For a moment, silence reigns, profound, reverent, and whole. Sir Alden turns toward the sound of the bell and sets his weapon aside. The bell calls not to battle, he murmurs, but to gratitude. His words carry softly on the air. You follow him as he walks toward a small chapel built beside the practice yard. Inside, the light is dim and golden. Candles flicker on the altar, their flames steady despite the faint draught that seeps through the old stones. The scent of wax and cedar fills the air. Knights enter one by one, removing their helmets, placing their swords upon the floor. There is no sermon, no command, only silence shared between souls who understand the fragile peace that lives beneath every dawn. Sir Alden kneels. His armor creaks softly, his hands rest on his knees, and his eyes close in quiet prayer. You kneel too, not out of ritual, but because the moment itself feels sacred. The silence stretches, long, unbroken. It fills the room like light itself, settling in every breath, every heartbeat. You feel it move through you, washing away the weight of time. For a moment, there is no distinction between night, traveller, dreamer, only stillness. When the prayer ends, the knights rise in unison, their faces calm and clear. They leave their swords untouched for a while longer, as if to honour the pause between duty and rest. Sir Alden steps into the courtyard once more. His gaze lifts toward the sky, blue now, endless, serene. He speaks quietly, perhaps to himself, perhaps to you. Peace is not found in the absence of war, but in the heart that knows when to be still. The words drift like smoke, fading into the soft hum of the day. You follow the winding path that leads away from the courtyard, past the gardens where lavender and rosemary grow wild. Bees move lazily among the blossoms. The faint murmur of a fountain joins the wind's whisper. You stop beside the water, watching it ripple over worn stone. The reflections shimmer like broken glass turned to light. You hear distant laughter, children playing near the outer walls. Somewhere, a lute begins to play again, slow and steady, its melody a thread that connects morning to noon. The world feels hushed, yet alive. Every sound, every motion flows together. The clang of steel, the rustle of leaves, the sigh of wind. Camelot breathes, and you breathe with it, calm, safe, and deeply present. Here, strength and peace are one. Here, time moves gently, guided by care and faith. And as you stand in the sunlight, surrounded by the echoes of quiet courage, you feel the dream deepen, not ending, only flowing onward, toward the next horizon of rest. The sun begins to lower behind the rolling hills, painting the sky in soft tones of amber and rose. A quiet hush spreads through Camelot as the day exhales, its long breath turning warm and gold. The castle walls glow like burnished copper, their ancient stones alive with the gentle flicker of evening light. You walk through the narrow corridors, their torches now being lit one by a passing servant. The flames dance in their sconces, stretching shadows across the floor like slow-moving waves. The scent of beeswax and roasting herbs mingles in the air, carrying faint traces of bread, honey, and fresh apple cider. Somewhere deeper within the castle, a bell chimes softly, not to summon, not to warn, but to remind. It's the sound that tells the people of Camelot that night is near, and with it comes rest, music, and warmth. You follow the bell's call toward the great hall. The doors, tall and carved from dark oak, are etched with vines, dragons, and ancient Celtic symbols that shimmer faintly in the candlelight. As you step inside, the space opens before you like a living dream. Hundreds of candles glow from iron chandeliers suspended above. Their flames flicker like tiny stars, filling the vast hall with a golden haze. Long wooden tables stretch across the room, lined with polished goblets, earthenware bowls, and fresh loaves of bread still warm from the ovens. Platters of roasted vegetables, wild game, and spiced fruit glisten beneath the candlelight. Yet despite the abundance, the atmosphere is gentle, not loud or wild, but calm and reverent, as though every soul gathered here understands the quiet miracle of a shared meal. At the far end of the hall, beneath a canopy embroidered with silver thread, sits King Arthur himself. His crown is simple, more like a wreath than a display of power. His eyes are steady, kind, and filled with that calm authority that does not command. It simply is. He gestures lightly for the feast to begin, and soft music rises from the far corner. A harp, a lute, and a single flute weaving together a melody so smooth it feels like wind brushing across silk. You take a seat among the guests, near a group of travellers and monks. Their voices are low, thoughtful, carrying tales of distant lands and lessons gathered from the road. One of them, an elderly monk with silver hair and a gentle smile, leans toward you and whispers, "Every kingdom, no matter how grand, is but a reflection of the heart that built it." His words float like mist, soft yet eternal. Across the table, laughter ripples, not sharp but mellow and warm. Knights share stories, not of battles, but of kindnesses and moments of wonder. A rescued child, a good harvest, a rainbow after rain. Even the jesters, when they perform, do so softly, their gestures slow and graceful, like dancers telling tales in motion. The music deepens. The harp plays a slow, minor melody that seems to shimmer with memory. A woman rises to sing, her voice clear and luminous, neither loud nor showy, but pure, like the first sound of dawn after long silence. Her song tells of a knight who laid down his sword to plant a tree, who found peace not in conquest but in creation. As her voice fills the hall, the world seems to slow. The torches burn lower, the room glows softer, like a living heartbeat of gold and shadow. You feel yourself drifting, not asleep yet, but floating between presence and dream. Your eyes wander toward the windows, tall and arched, where the night sky begins to show. The first stars shimmer faintly, one, then another, then a scatter of light across the deepening blue. The air cools, carrying with it the scent of wood smoke and blooming night flowers from the gardens below. You step quietly outside, leaving the murmurs of the feast behind. The courtyard is bathed in silver light now. Moonlight pools between the stones, and the sound of a distant river hums through the stillness. Fireflies hover near the hedges, tiny orbs of light drifting like floating embers. A few knights stand near the walls, speaking softly about their families, their hopes, their memories. One of them, you recognize Sir Alden, glances toward you and smiles, a gesture both familiar and kind. "The day may end," he says, "but its peace remains if we carry it gently." The great hall slowly falls quiet. The echo of laughter fades. The harp's final note dissolves into the air like mist. Servants move softly between the tables, their footsteps muffled on the stone floor. The warm glow of hundreds of candles trembles and shrinks as one by one their flames are pinched out. Soon, only a few torches remain, flickering like watchful stars. You rise from your seat, moving through the thinning crowd. The great doors of oak open before you with a slow, resonant creak. Cool night air spills into the hall, gentle and clean, scented faintly with the dew that has already begun to settle across the courtyard. The sudden stillness outside greets you like an old friend. You step out beneath the open sky. The courtyard of Camelot stretches before you, wide and peaceful beneath the rising moon. The flagstones shimmer faintly, kissed by silver light. The fountain at the centre murmurs softly, its surface glinting like liquid glass. Somewhere far off, a nightbird sings a single note, high and clear, echoing briefly against the tall castle walls. The sky above is vast and luminous. A full moon hangs low and bright, surrounded by a scattering of stars so fine they seem brushed onto velvet. The air is perfectly still. The banners that hung proudly during the day now rest against their poles, unmoving. Even the torches at the gate seem to burn slower now, their orange flames swaying gently in the hush. You begin to walk across the courtyard. Each step echoes softly, slow and deliberate. You can hear the faint rhythm of your own breathing, the quiet beat of your heart syncing with the world around you. The castle feels alive, yet asleep. Its stones breathing, its shadows stretching like long, slow sighs. Near the stables, a single guard makes his nightly round. His armor glints faintly beneath the torchlight, though he moves without the sound of metal. Careful, practiced, his boots press softly into the earth, leaving prints that the wind will erase by morning. He nods to you as he passes, eyes calm, shoulders steady. All is well, his expression seems to say, and truly, all is well. You pause near the fountain, listening to its music, the endless rhythm of water upon stone. You can almost hear time itself flowing there, unhurried and eternal. The people of Camelot built this place not just for protection, but for peace. A stronghold of stillness amidst the shifting world beyond. Your fingers brush against the cold stone rim of the fountain. The surface of the water trembles slightly, reflecting your face and the bright moon behind you. In its depths, the rippling light seems to form patterns, almost like ancient symbols, whispering stories too old to name. You watch them shift and shimmer, feeling yourself sink deeper into calm. From a nearby tower, a bell tolls once, soft, low, and round, like a heartbeat felt rather than heard. It marks the hour of night watch, when the castle closes its eyes to the outside world. The gates are sealed, the fires within are banked. All that remains now is the soft hum of life. A few murmured prayers, a horse stirring in its stall, the sigh of the wind brushing past stone. You wander along the walls, your hands grazing the rough surface of the masonry. These stones have stood for centuries, weathered by rain and sunlight, built by hands that are long gone but never forgotten. You imagine the builders, their calloused palms, their quiet pride. You can almost hear their voices echoing faintly in the wind, not as ghosts, but as memory, gentle and enduring. At the edge of the courtyard, ivy climbs high up the wall, its leaves trembling slightly in the night air. You reach out and touch them, cool, smooth, alive. A moth flutters past your hand, pale wings glowing faintly in the moonlight before disappearing into shadow. The world seems suspended between breaths, awake yet dreaming. Above, the moon drifts higher. Its light spills through the crenellations of the battlements, casting delicate lattices across the stone. You tilt your head back, eyes tracing the soft gleam of the stars. They seem closer now, as if leaning down to watch over Camelot, their silent vigil older than any kingdom. You take a deep breath, slow, even, effortless. The air fills your chest cool and steady. For a moment, everything around you, the fountain, the stones, the moon, the night, seems to breathe in rhythm with you. The stillness feels sacred, like a secret shared between you and the world. In this moment, you understand why stories linger here. Camelot is not only a place of valor and legend, but of rest, a dream woven into the quiet hours of the night. And as the stars shimmer above the ancient walls, the line between waking and dreaming begins to blur. You close your eyes, listening once more to the fountain's voice, a soft, endless murmur that sounds a little like time, a little like memory, and a little like peace itself. From the courtyard, a soft sound catches your ear, the low, rhythmic hum of distant voices. You turn toward it, drawn across the quiet stone path that winds toward the chapel. The night deepens as you walk, and the air cools around you, carrying the faint scent of lavender from the gardens and the dry sweetness of burning oil from the torches that line the way. The chapel rests near the castle's eastern wall, small, humble, and built from pale stone that glows faintly beneath the moon. Its roof, steep and shingled with slate, glimmers with dew. Vines climb the sides, their leaves dark and glossy, and above the arched doorway a single candle burns in a narrow window, its flame steady and unwavering. You step inside, and the world changes. The sound outside falls away. No wind, no water, no movement, only stillness, pure and complete. The air here is warm, touched by the faint smoke of incense and the quiet flicker of 100 candles. They glow in shallow iron bowls along the walls, their light gentle and uneven, painting soft halos over the stone. Ahead, the small altar is draped in deep crimson cloth, embroidered with a golden cross. A carved wooden chalice rests at its center, surrounded by sprigs of dried herbs, rosemary, sage, and thyme, symbols of memory, purity, and strength. Behind it, a stained glass window catches the moonlight, scattering fragments of blue and violet across the floor like fragments of a dream. A few knights kneel near the altar. Their armor lies beside them in neat, shining pieces, reflecting the candlelight like captured stars. Without their steel, they look human again, tired, solemn, but peaceful. Their heads bow low, lips moving in silent prayer. Sir Alden is among them. You recognize his calm presence immediately, steady, like a river that never rushes yet never stops. His eyes are closed, his hands folded. You take a seat near the back of the chapel, the wooden bench cool beneath your palms. The chanting resumes, soft, low, and slow. It's not a melody, not truly a song, but something older, simpler, a vibration of sound that seems to hum from the stones themselves. The words are Latin, their meaning faded with time, but their intention still clear. Peace, forgiveness, gratitude. You listen, breathing in rhythm with the chant. Each sound stretches like a long exhale, each pause filled with quiet reverence. The echoes blend into the crackle of candle flames, the faint creak of wood, the sigh of distant wind through the open window above. For a moment, the scene feels suspended, timeless. You could be anywhere, in any century. The prayers of these nights could belong to monks in a mountain abbey, to sailors on a distant sea, to anyone who has ever sought rest at the end of a long day. Sir Alden rises slowly. He moves toward the altar, the fabric of his cloak whispering against the floor. He lights another candle from the flame of the chalice and sets it gently at the foot of the cross. His voice, when it comes, is barely above a breath. For all we have done, he murmurs, and all we have yet to understand. The words hang in the air, glowing as softly as the light that fills the room. You watch as the knights follow suit, each placing a small token, a ring, a feather, a flower, a stone, before the altar. No two are alike, yet all seem to speak the same quiet language of gratitude and release. When the final knight steps back, silence returns. A deeper silence now, the kind that hums gently through the soul, not empty, but full. You feel it settle around you like a blanket. Sir Alden turns toward you. His gaze meets yours, and though he says nothing, his expression carries a message that peace is not found through victory, but through surrender. That the strength of a knight is measured not by his sword, but by the gentleness with which he carries his heart. You close your eyes. The warmth of the candles brushes your face like sunlight through closed lids. For a long moment, you simply sit and breathe, letting the rhythm of the chant echo softly in your chest. The room, the nights, the light, all blur into one steady pulse. When you open your eyes again, the moonlight through the window has shifted. It falls now across the floor in a long, pale beam, reaching all the way to your feet. A quiet invitation. You rise and step back outside, your movements slow, almost dreamlike. The night greets you again with cool air and a sky so deep it feels endless. The stars shimmer brighter now, their silver light reflecting from the distant river beyond the walls. Behind you, the chapel door closes gently, its sound soft as a sigh. You begin walking toward that river, drawn by its quiet glimmer and the promise of flowing peace. The ground beneath your feet feels softer now, the path lit by moonlight alone. Each breath comes slower, deeper, as if the world itself is exhaling in rhythm with you. The path slopes downward from the castle walls, winding through soft grass and wildflowers that sway in the cool night breeze. You walk slowly, the faint hum of the night's chant still echoing in your chest, fading into the distance like a lullaby remembered from childhood. Ahead, you begin to hear it. The steady murmur of water. The sound grows clearer with every step. The faint splash of current against stone, the rustle of reeds brushing together, the delicate ripple of moonlight over the surface. It's the river that runs beneath the kingdom, quiet and silver, winding through Camelot's valley like a ribbon of light. As you reach the bank, the world opens wide. The stars above stretch endlessly, their reflections shimmering in the dark mirror below. The air carries the scent of water lilies and damp earth, and a soft mist rises from the surface, glowing faintly where the moonlight touches it. You kneel near the edge, resting your hand on a smooth, cool stone. The river hums beneath your fingertips, not loud, but steady, like the heartbeat of the land itself. You can feel its rhythm, ancient and patient, flowing toward distant forests and unseen seas. From across the bank, a figure appears, Sir Alden again, his cloak drifting behind him like a shadow of midnight blue. He nods gently in greeting, his eyes warm with quiet understanding. "This river," he says softly, "has seen every dawn since the kingdom began. Kings have prayed beside it, lovers have met beneath its willow trees, and when the storms came, it carried their fears away." You listen to his words as the current laps softly at the stones, the ripples carrying light in gentle arcs. He kneels beside you and dips his hand into the water. "The river keeps memories," he whispers, "but it never clings to them. It moves forward, always." He looks to you then, as if inviting you to do the same. Slowly, you reach forward and touch the surface. The water is cold, but clean and alive. For a moment, it feels as if it knows you, as if it recognizes your presence, your story, your breath. The ripples stretch outward, widening across the surface until they vanish into the current. Across the water, the willows sway. Their long silver-green branches trail into the stream, their reflections bending and dancing like ribbons in a dream. The breeze picks up slightly, rustling the leaves above, carrying with it the scent of pine from the distant woods. Somewhere far off, a nightbird calls, low, slow, and soothing. Sir Alden speaks again, his voice softer than the wind. In the old tales, he says, they say the river was once a mirror for the soul. If one gazed into it long enough, they might see the life they'd forgotten, or the peace they still seek. You glance down into the water, the surface trembles with the motion of your breath. Slowly the reflections begin to shift. You see not just your own image, but flickers of the world behind you, the torches on the wall, the chapel's faint glow, the stars turning above. For a moment, everything seems to merge. Time, memory, stillness, all flowing together as one. You feel an ease settle deep within your chest, spreading warmth through your arms, your shoulders, your mind. The water's sound becomes softer now, the rhythm slower, as though the entire world has begun to breathe in harmony with you. Sir Alden stands, the hem of his cloak brushing the grass. It's late, he says gently, and the river will keep its song long after we are gone. His smile is faint but kind, carrying that same quiet wisdom that fills the night. Rest well, traveller, the kingdom is safe tonight. He begins to walk along the river's edge, his figure fading slowly into the mist until only his reflection remains, a shimmer of silver against the moving current. You stay a while longer, letting the water's sound lull your thoughts into silence. Above you, the stars turn like a slow wheel, each one pulsing faintly in the dark. The moon drifts lower, its light folding across the valley in pale sheets. You lie back on the grass, eyes half open, feeling the ground steady and cool beneath you. The river continues its song, a melody without words, carrying you further from waking, deeper into the stillness of sleep. The last thing you hear before your mind drifts fully into dreams is the sound of that gentle current, flowing endlessly forward, whispering through time, soothing all who listen. The mist drifts away as you rise from the riverside, the sound of water fading behind you like a soft farewell. The air is cooler now, still and light, filled with the distant scent of meadow herbs and wood smoke from far-off cottages. Above, the moon hangs lower, its glow tender and silver, washing the world in a gentle haze. You walk slowly along a narrow path that leads beyond Camelot's edge. The land opens wide before you, rolling hills, calm and endless, blanketed in the hush of night. The grass bends gently under your feet, dew shimmering faintly along each blade like scattered jewels. Somewhere to your right, an owl calls once, its voice echoing across the open plain, then fades into stillness again. Each step feels softer, slower, as if the earth itself wishes to cradle you into rest. In the distance, faint torchlights mark the outlines of small villages, dots of warm gold flickering like tiny stars fallen to the ground. Between them lies only peace, the silence of sleeping fields, the slow hum of the wind brushing through tall grass, and the far-off murmur of the river winding toward the unseen sea. You take in the vastness of it all. It feels eternal, like the memory of a dream long forgotten. The stars above shimmer brighter now, thousands of them, spread like grains of silver dust across the dark velvet sky. The constellations form shapes and stories once told by knights and poets, tales of courage, love, and the turning of the seasons. Somewhere among them, you imagine the great figure of King Arthur himself, the warrior, and the dreamer, watching over his land, his spirit woven into every hill, every whisper of the wind. You can almost hear his voice, not as command or legend, but as a calm assurance. All things pass, but peace endures. You pause for a moment, feeling the truth of it settle deep within. The air here feels different, thinner, lighter, as if each breath carries not just oxygen, but calm itself. You exhale slowly, letting go of all remaining tension, and allow your body to relax into the rhythm of the night. Ahead, the plain widens even further, turning to open moorland. Wildflowers bloom quietly in the dark, bluebells, white heather, and tiny moon petals that open only after dusk. Their fragrance mingles with the cool scent of the breeze, filling the air with something both ancient and soothing. You continue walking, your footsteps nearly soundless now. The land begins to slope gently upward, and at the crest of a low hill you stop. From here you can see it all. The soft glow of Camelot behind you, its towers barely visible in the mist, the glimmering line of the river, the far horizon where the land meets the stars. It feels like standing on the edge of both history and dream. Somewhere in that stillness, you sense motion, not in the air or grass, but in time itself. You realize that this land, this night, is not simply a memory of the past. It is something eternal, a reflection of calm and courage that lives in every quiet heart. You sit upon the hilltop, wrapping your arms around yourself as a light breeze drifts past. The grass sways gently against your sides, whispering like silk. You close your eyes for a moment and listen, truly listen, to the world around you. You hear the pulse of life beneath the soil, the faint hum of the earth spinning slowly in its endless circle. You hear the sigh of wind passing through ancient stone, and the faint rhythmic beat of your own heart joining the rhythm of the land. It's peaceful here, deeply, profoundly peaceful. Every sound is soft, every colour muted, every breath unhurried. The kingdom sleeps below, wrapped in safety and stillness. The stars above shimmer like ancient guardians, patient and kind. You open your eyes once more and see a trail of starlight leading across the sky, a faint, silvery arc stretching from horizon to horizon. It looks almost like a bridge between worlds. The path of dreams, perhaps, or the road that leads from waking to rest. You smile softly, your eyelids heavy now, your thoughts gentle and slow. As you breathe in, you feel the cool air filling your chest. As you breathe out, you release everything, the noise of the day, the weight of time, even the memory of your journey. For a moment, you imagine the plain beneath you glowing faintly, the grass whispering lullabies in an ancient tongue. The sound of the river echoes faintly in the distance, merging with the hum of the stars until everything becomes one. Light, air, silence, peace. You lie back in the grass, feeling the night wrap around you like a soft cloak. The last thing you see before your eyes drift closed is the great wheel of constellations turning slowly overhead. Timeless, endless, serene, and as your breathing slows, the final whisper of the wind carries a promise that even in sleep the magic. The night deepens over the plains, and all of Camelot seems to exhale with you, a long, gentle breath that carries the world into stillness. The great castle, once alive with the clatter of armour and the music of laughter, now lies quiet under the soft silver wash of moonlight. The wind sighs faintly through its towers, and what was once noise becomes memory. a faint echo that hums beneath the stars. You rise slowly from the hill where you've been resting, turning your gaze toward the distant city. The lights of the castle flicker like the last embers of a fading fire. The air feels sacred here, thick with the weight of history, yet light enough to drift through your thoughts without effort. Every breath carries you further into calm, and every heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the sleeping earth. As you begin to walk, your footsteps sound softer than ever. The grass bends beneath you but makes no noise, and even the whisper of the wind feels muted, as though the night itself wishes not to wake the ghosts of what once was. There's a kind of beauty in this silence. It doesn't feel empty. It feels full, full of memories, full of peace. Somewhere far away, perhaps within the walls of the old hall, a door creaks gently on its hinges. You imagine the great hall of Camelot as it once stood, filled with the golden glow of torchlight, the murmur of voices, the laughter of knights gathered in fellowship. You can almost see King Arthur at the head of the table, his crown glinting softly in the firelight, his eyes warm and wise. You hear faint music, not from instruments, but from memory itself, a harp strumming in the background of time, its notes stretching across centuries to reach this quiet night. The melody is slow, almost like breathing, rising and falling, fading and returning, a lullaby of a kingdom that dreamed of honor, unity, and peace. As you walk further, you find yourself standing on a ridge that overlooks the valley below. The river glows faintly, reflecting the stars like liquid glass. The moon has climbed high, and its light softens everything it touches. The stone, the trees, even the air itself. The land feels ageless now. The years between then and now melt away, and you stand in a place beyond time where all that remains is peace. You take a slow breath, letting the cool air fill your chest, and exhale softly. You think of how every kingdom, no matter how great, eventually finds its stillness. And yet, though the voices have faded and the banners no longer wave, something remains. Something quiet, enduring, beautiful. The spirit of Camelot, perhaps, the dream of goodness that never quite dies. You close your eyes for a moment and listen. In the distance, the faintest sound, the memory of hooves upon stone, the murmur of knights returning from quest, the soft laughter of a queen. They are not ghosts, not in the fearful sense, but whispers of remembrance. A gentle reminder that the world holds on to its stories long after the telling is done. As the air grows cooler, you draw your cloak tighter around yourself. A faint breeze brushes against your face, carrying with it the scent of river mist and distant hearth smoke. You imagine the people who once lived here, blacksmiths, farmers, healers, their days filled with work, and their nights filled with the same sky that now watches over you. The thought brings warmth to your heart. They too saw these same stars. They too dreamed, loved, rested, and hoped. And though their voices are gone, the land remembers. The stones remember. The stars remember. You stand still now, your body relaxed, your thoughts unhurried. The sound of your breath mingles with the quiet around you. The world feels endless, yet close, comforting, like the soft rhythm of a lullaby. And as the night deepens further, you begin to feel a deep sense of gratitude, not only for this glimpse into the past, but for the calm it has gifted you in the present. Camelot may have fallen silent, but its peace lingers, gentle as moonlight, eternal as the stars. You walk slowly down the hillside, following a narrow path that winds between the roots of ancient oaks. Their great trunks rise like pillars, dark against the moonlit sky, their branches laced together to form a canopy of silver leaves. Every step you take stirs the scent of moss and soil, damp from the night air. The world feels hushed, not lifeless, but listening. Ahead, the remnants of a stone arch emerge from the shadows. It stands alone, half covered in ivy, a doorway that opens onto nothing but night. Beyond it, the ruins of the old chapel lie quiet, their walls softened by time. You pause before entering, running your fingers across the weathered stones. They are cool to the touch, rough with age, but still solid, still holding the shape of hands that built them so many centuries ago. You step through the arch. Inside, the air is still, the roof is long gone, and the stars spill freely across the open sky. The moonlight drifts through gaps in the stone, falling in soft patches upon the floor. You walk slowly, your footsteps echoing faintly against the flagstones. It's not an echo of sound, but of memory, the ghost of prayers once whispered here, of songs once sung, when hope filled the hearts of those who gathered beneath this very sky. In the center of the chapel, you find an old altar. Its surface is worn smooth, but carved faintly into the stone is the outline of a cross. The symbol catches the moonlight and glows pale silver. You rest your hand upon it and feel the faint warmth of the day still lingering in the rock. Closing your eyes, you breathe deeply, in through your nose, out through your mouth, letting the calmness of the moment sink into your body. The air here feels sacred, not in a grand or heavy way, but gently, like the way light settles on water. You can almost imagine the voices that once filled this space. The blacksmith kneeling after his workday, the farmer giving thanks for a good harvest, the healer whispering prayers for a child's recovery. Their words may be gone, but their intention lingers, suspended in the stillness. For a moment, you think you hear it, the faint sound of distant chanting, low and rhythmic, like a memory returning from another time. It rises and fades with the wind, neither near nor far, but surrounding you in a halo of peace. You let it wash over you, slow and steady, until you can almost feel your pulse matching its rhythm. You open your eyes, and the chapel seems to shimmer slightly, as though the boundary between past and present has thinned. The stones glow faintly under the moonlight, and for an instant you glimpse shadows moving at the edge of vision. Figures cloaked in simple robes, their heads bowed, their hands folded. They move without sound, their presence neither haunting nor strange, but comforting, like the presence of something remembered with love. As you watch, the figures begin to fade, leaving only light in their place. The ruins fall silent once more. A soft breeze stirs, lifting a few fallen leaves from the ground and carrying them out through the open archway. They drift upward, glinting faintly as they rise into the night sky, vanishing into the starlit air. You follow them with your eyes, and then look once more at the cross upon the altar. It gleams quietly, steady and sure, a small light in the vast stillness of the world. You smile faintly, a warmth blooming within your chest. It's as if the land itself is whispering. Even in ruins, light remains. You turn to leave, stepping back through the archway into the open air. The forest beyond glows with the faint silver hue of moonlight. The night feels softer now, more tender, more still. You can hear the distant murmur of the river again, the same one that wound through the heart of the kingdom. Its sound mingles with the whisper of the trees, creating a quiet symphony of rest. You walk slowly, every motion unhurried. The ruins fade behind you, but their peace follows. a lingering comfort, a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It simply changes form, finding new ways to speak through silence, through stone, through stars. The breeze brushes against your face again, cooler now, softer. You close your eyes as you walk and let it carry you further into calm. Camelot sleeps behind you. The world breathes around you, and time itself seems to slow, drawing you nearer and nearer to stillness. A stillness deep enough to dream in. Beyond the ruins, the land opens wide into a gentle stretch of rolling meadows. The moonlight spills across the fields, silvering every blade of grass, turning the landscape into a soft glowing sea. You walk slowly, your steps sinking lightly into the earth, each one bringing with it a rhythm of calm that spreads through your entire body. The night feels vast here, open and endless. The stars above shimmer like grains of light scattered by an unseen hand, and for the first time tonight, you sense how infinite the sky truly is. The air is cool, but not cold, and it moves across your face like a whisper, a reminder that the world is still alive, still breathing, even in silence. You stop for a moment and close your eyes. The field is quiet except for the faint rustle of grass in the wind. The earth beneath your feet is firm and steady, holding you in its quiet strength. Somewhere far off, a night owl calls, its low, rounded sound echoing gently across the valley. It fades slowly, replaced by the soft hum of crickets hidden in the tall grass. This is the kind of silence that carries sound like a lullaby, not empty, but full of presence. It's a living stillness, the kind that makes you feel both very small and deeply connected to everything that ever was. You open your eyes again, and before you lies a small stone bridge. It arches gracefully over a stream that glimmers faintly in the moonlight. The water moves quietly, slipping between moss-covered stones and reeds that bow under the weight of dew. As you step onto the bridge, your footsteps echo softly, a hollow sound, gentle and distant, as if the bridge itself remembers every soul that has crossed it. Halfway across, you pause and look down. The water below flows clear and slow, carrying small fragments of leaves and moonlight with it. You watch as they drift, turning slowly, following the current. It feels like time itself is passing beneath you, steady, inevitable, peaceful. The air here smells faintly of heather and wet earth, touched by the faint sweetness of distant blossoms. You breathe it in, deep and slow, letting it fill you with calm. The breeze brushes your hair, carrying with it the faintest trace of wood smoke from some faraway cottage, perhaps where a family still sleeps beside their hearth. You imagine them, a mother tucking her child beneath wool blankets, a candle burning low, the faint crackle of firewood, and the soft rise and fall of their breathing. You picture their simple home built of stone and timber, a place warmed not just by fire, but by the rhythm of life's quiet moments, the same rhythm you now feel deep within yourself. The world around you seems to glow from within. The grass, the water, the stars, all seem to pulse gently with the same soft energy. You feel it in your chest, in your hands, even in your thoughts. The night hums with an ancient stillness, a sense that you are standing in a moment that has no beginning and no end. You rest your hands upon the stone rail of the bridge, and look toward the horizon. There, where the fields fade into the distance, a faint fog has begun to gather. It moves slowly, like a tide, spilling softly across the ground, wrapping the land in pale, dreamlike folds. The stars blur within it, glowing like lanterns seen through silk. As you stand watching, the thought crosses your mind that this same mist has likely drifted across these fields for 1,000 years, seen by shepherds, travellers, and dreamers alike. It is the same air, the same moon, the same earth, eternal, unbroken, gentle. You are not apart from it. You are part of it, just as those who lived here long ago once were. You take another slow breath and feel your shoulders loosen, your hands relax, your thoughts quiet. The past, the present, the future, all dissolve into this single, silent moment. Somewhere behind you, the ruins of the chapel stand under the same stars. Ahead, the mist thickens, soft and silver, calling you forward with its quiet promise of peace. You take a step off the bridge, and then another. The fog curls gently around your ankles, cool and comforting. The world grows softer with every breath. Shapes blur, sounds fade, and your mind begins to float, light and untethered. The fields hum quietly beneath the moon, and you feel yourself drifting, not away, but deeper, into the kind of stillness that holds dreams. The mist grows thicker as you move through the meadow, softening the world into a pale blur of shapes and shadows. The stars above dim slightly, their light muted behind the drifting veil. Everything feels slow here, as if time itself has grown weary, content to rest alongside the earth. Far in the distance, through the layers of fog, you see it, the faint glow of a torch. Just one. It flickers softly against the darkness, its flame small but steady. You walk toward it, unhurried, each step muffled by the dew-covered grass. The sound of your movement is barely more than a whisper, a rhythm that matches the beat of your slowing heart. As you draw closer, you begin to make out the shape of an old stone wall, crumbled in places, with ivy draped like a green curtain over its face. Beyond it lies what remains of Camelot's outer grounds. The torch is wedged into the ground beside the entrance, a single light left to stand watch over a kingdom long asleep. You stand before it for a moment, watching the flame move. It bends and straightens with the wind, never fully extinguishing, always finding its way back to stillness. The glow reaches your face, warm and gentle. You can smell the faint scent of smoke, mixed with the sweet dampness of the grass. Somewhere within the fog, you imagine the city streets that once bustled with life. The clatter of carts, the laughter of children, the sound of hooves against cobblestones. You can almost hear it, faint and far away, as though the world itself remembers, whispering softly of the joy that once was. You lift your gaze toward the higher ground where the castle stands. Its great towers are barely visible now, shadows in the mist, but you know they are there. Ancient, patient, unyielding. For centuries, they have watched the world change. And yet, even now, under moon and fog, they hold their quiet dignity. The torchlight flickers again, and for a moment, you imagine it lighting not the ruins of Camelot, but the living city, the streets bright and full of warmth, banners waving in the wind, the voices of the people echoing through the night. You can almost see them, blacksmiths at their forges, knights polishing armor, the hum of song drifting from open windows. It's as though the flame itself is remembering, each flicker a heartbeat from another time. You close your eyes and listen. You can hear the faint murmur of the past, laughter, footsteps, a distant bell, and then, slowly, it fades, replaced by the quiet hush of the present. The torch burns lower now, its flame smaller, slower. You reach out and hold your hand near it, feeling its last warmth. It does not feel like loss, but release, a kind of peaceful surrender. The light was never meant to burn forever. It was meant to guide, to comfort, to remind. And now, as it flickers one final time, it feels as though the kingdom itself is whispering its goodnight. You breathe deeply, letting the scent of smoke and night air fill your lungs. The warmth of the torch lingers on your skin for a moment longer before it dims completely, leaving only the glow of moonlight behind. The mist shifts gently around you, illuminated in silver, soft, calm, endless. Camelot has gone to sleep, not vanished, not lost, simply resting beneath the folds of time. You realize then that every story, every kingdom, every life eventually comes to this same peace. The ending is not an absence, but a return to quiet, to stillness, to light that needs no flame. You turn away from where the torch once stood and begin to walk once more. The air feels lighter now, and the fog wraps you like a soft blanket. Each breath draws you deeper into calm, into ease, into that quiet space between waking and dreaming. In the distance, the faint glimmer of stars begins to return, shining through the mist once more. Their light feels different now, softer, closer, almost like they're watching over you. The night has settled fully into silence. You take one last look back toward where Camelot once stood. A city of memory and light. The hills are still, the world is at rest, and you feel the peace of it all sink deep within you, gentle, unshakable, eternal. You stand upon the quiet hill overlooking what was once Camelot. The mist has thinned now, revealing the shape of the land beneath the moon. The stars stretch wide and unbroken above, bright rivers of light flowing across the endless dark. For a long while, you simply breathe. The night is still, and your heart moves with it, slow, peaceful, unhurried. Though the torches have gone out and the city has long fallen into silence, the sky remains the same. These same constellations once shone above the knights and dreamers of Arthur's age, above kings and healers, peasants and poets. And now, centuries later, they shine for you. The same stars that once watched over Camelot now whisper softly to the quiet soul beneath them. A soft wind drifts across the meadow, carrying with it the scent of wild herbs and the cool, silvery calm of night. It brushes against your hair, your face, your hands, like a ghost of history passing by in gratitude. You close your eyes and feel the world around you hum with gentle memory. You imagine the people who once lived here, their laughter echoing down stone corridors, the songs sung by the fires, the simple joys of life beneath the great towers. Though they are gone, their warmth lingers, like the faint glow left behind after a candle is blown out. You can almost hear the gentle murmur of their stories blending with the wind, becoming part of the world's quiet breathing. It is a strange and beautiful thing, how the past never truly leaves us. Every breath of wind, every shimmer of starlight carries whispers of those who came before. The earth remembers their steps, the rivers remember their voices, and the sky remembers their dreams. And as you listen now, lying still beneath that vast canopy of night, you realize that you too are part of this same story, a continuation of something timeless and tender. You sit upon the grass and look upward. The stars seem closer now, brighter, as though they are leaning in to listen, to keep watch as you drift toward rest. You trace the familiar shapes above. Orion's belt, the North Star, the faint line of the Milky Way stretching like a soft road of light. You remember how the old knights would navigate by those same stars, their journeys guided by this eternal map in the heavens. Perhaps King Arthur himself once stood where you stand now, gazing upward at these same constellations, wondering about the future. Perhaps he, too, felt the stillness of night settle deep into his heart, that calm awareness that all things pass, and yet all things remain, woven into the grand, unending dream of time. The thought brings a kind of quiet joy, a sense that you are not alone. The stories of history, the people of the past, the stars in the sky, they are all still here, breathing alongside you, in the gentle rhythm of your breath, in the soft beat of your heart, in the whisper of the wind through the grass. The ancient world lives on. The moonlight deepens, turning the landscape to silver and shadow. You lie back upon the earth, feeling the soft ground cradle your body. The cool air fills your lungs. The world grows softer with every passing second. You think once more of Camelot, of its golden banners, its songs, its dreams. Though it sleeps beneath time's quiet hands, its spirit endures. It lingers in the calm, in the stillness, in the beauty of nights like this one. And as your eyes grow heavier, you realize this is not the end of a story. It is the return to peace, the world you've wandered through. The hills, the castle, the laughter, the legends, all dissolve gently into the quiet rhythm of your breath. The stars above shimmer faintly, their light pulsing like a heartbeat. The night folds itself around you, soft, endless, protective. You feel the weight of sleep pressing closer now, kind and steady. The last thought that drifts through your mind before you surrender to rest is simple and sweet. Though these streets are silent now, they once carried laughter and life under the same starlit sky. And with that final echo of history, your thoughts fade like the last light over Camelot, peaceful, timeless, and free. The winds of time have quieted. The echo of Camelot has faded into the hush of night. You stand once more in that meadow beneath the starlit sky, where the story began and where it now softly ends. The air is cool and kind, carrying the scent of wildflowers and distant rain. Each breath you take feels slower now, deeper, calmer. The journey is complete. You have walked through the halls of kings, listened to the whispers of the past, and now the world around you melts into stillness. The grass beneath you feels soft, the air warm and smooth against your skin. You are safe. You are home. The torches that once lined Camelot's walls flicker faintly in memory, their golden light dissolving into a gentle haze. You watch as the great towers blur, fading into the night, their stone dissolving like mist. It is not sadness that fills you, but peace. The story has found its rest, and so too shall you. The stars above remain, unwavering, serene. Their light falls upon you like a quiet blessing, each shimmer reminding you that you are a part of something vast, endless, and beautifully calm. As you breathe, you begin to feel that same stillness growing inside you. The rhythm of your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the earth beneath you. You can almost hear the slow pulse of the world, steady, eternal, as though the land itself is breathing with you. In and out, in and out. Each breath softens your body, your thoughts, your edges. The journey that once carried you through bustling markets, stone halls, and echoing forests has led you here, to silence, to serenity. The clinking of hammers, the murmur of voices, the distant songs, all fade into a distant lullaby. The sounds of life have become the sounds of rest. Your eyelids feel heavier now, your thoughts drifting like clouds across a wide sky. The voice of time, once full of tales and memories, now whispers softly, rest. The earth beneath you holds your weight with quiet strength, as though the ancient land of Camelot itself has gathered you into its arms. You may imagine the gentle rippling of a river nearby, calm, steady, eternal. The water catches the moonlight, scattering it like tiny pieces of silver. The surface moves so slowly, it feels like the world itself has fallen into a deep, contented sleep. The rhythm of the current becomes the rhythm of your breathing, carrying you forward, not to another destination, but into the depths of peaceful dreaming. The moon drifts higher, glowing softly through the mist. Its light spills across the meadow, touching your face, your hands, your heart. You feel its warmth even through the cool of night. A tender reminder that even in the darkest hours, there is always light. And in that light, you begin to fade gently, not into nothingness, but into a calm so deep it feels endless. Your mind softens, your breath becomes slower, smoother. You are no longer walking the earth of Camelot, but floating between dream and sleep, between memory and peace. You hear the faintest echo, the voice of a bard from long ago, singing softly near the dying embers of a fire. His song drifts through the night. A lullaby for the weary traveller, a blessing for those who wander. You don't understand the words, yet their meaning wraps around you like a blanket, comforting, timeless, safe. You imagine the people of Camelot resting too, the knights laying down their swords, the maidens closing their eyes by candlelight, the horses sleeping in their stalls. The entire kingdom, once alive with sound and motion, now lies wrapped in the gentle stillness of night. It is as though the world itself has exhaled. The air grows quieter, the stars shimmer softer, the moon begins its slow descent, and within you a stillness blossoms. Calm, deep, infinite. The story is over, but its warmth lingers, like the last glow of sunlight over the horizon. You breathe in, calm. You breathe out, peace. You are safe. You are home. You are drifting. The echoes of the past dissolve completely now. There are no more castles, no more whispers of kings, no more stories to follow. Only the rhythm of your breath, the comfort of the night, and the quiet pulse of your heartbeat, slow and steady as time itself. Let it all fade. The images, the words, the thoughts. Let them sink gently into the sea of rest. You have reached the end of your journey. You have come home to stillness. In the silence, you hear the faint hum of the stars, an invisible song that stretches through the heavens, connecting you to every story ever told. You are part of it now. You have always been. The night holds you in its arms. The earth beneath you cradles your body. The stars watch over your dreams. Sleep, traveller. Sleep beneath the same stars that watched over Camelot. Sleep beneath the same sky that guided knights and dreamers. Sleep, and let the story become your dream. The night is deep now. The sounds of the kingdom have disappeared completely. No clinking of armor, No distant chatter, no echo of hoofbeats, just the soft hum of the wind across the hills and the slow rhythm of your breathing. You are lying beneath the vast sky, where time itself seems to dissolve. The constellations above shimmer faintly, ancient and watchful. These are the same stars that once guided Arthur's knights on their sacred quests, the same sky that covered the green fields and silent towers of Camelot. Yet tonight those stars shine only for you. Each breath draws you deeper into peace. Your body feels weightless, like mist rising from a still lake. Your thoughts are quiet now, drifting untethered. The stories of kings and swords and dreams fade into the soft murmur of the universe. You imagine that somewhere, beyond the veil of time, a gentle harp is playing, the same melody that once lulled the court of Camelot to rest. Its notes drift through the air like ripples on water, delicate and slow. The tune carries warmth and memory, a song not of victory, but of peace, of return, of home. You feel that home now, not a castle of stone, but a quiet, inner place. The walls are built of calm, the air perfumed with stillness. You are safe within it. The world beyond can wait. In your mind, you see the kingdom at dawn. The sun has not yet risen, but the horizon glows faintly, a promise of tomorrow. The meadows are silver with dew. The river glides through the valley, smooth and silent. Smoke curls from the chimneys of small cottages where families still sleep, wrapped in the warmth of dreams. Somewhere in that dream, you can almost see yourself, a traveller resting near the embers of a fading fire. Your cloak is drawn close, your body heavy with comfort. The journey has ended, and the night has wrapped you in peace. The air hums softly. The earth beneath you feels alive, slow, ancient, breathing with you. Its rhythm matches yours, a gentle wave rising and falling. You realize that you no longer need to move through this story. The story now moves through you, cradling you, guiding you deeper into rest. A whisper moves through the night, maybe the voice of Merlin, or perhaps your own inner calm. The world is quiet now. Let it rest. You are safe. You are home. Those words repeat, slower each time, echoing softly in the air. You are safe. You are home. You are free to drift. The stars above seem to pulse in time with your breathing, each shimmer a heartbeat of the cosmos. The night becomes vast, boundless, endless. You feel yourself floating gently within it, weightless, timeless. All that remains now is calm. All that remains is peace. Your thoughts, once full of vivid stories, are now distant and slow, like waves fading into the horizon. Your body is heavy, your mind quiet, your spirit light. The voice of the past, of knights and castles and ancient dreams, becomes the lullaby of sleep. You do not need to listen anymore. You can simply be. You breathe in and exhale softly. Each exhale draws you deeper, further into rest, deeper into comfort, deeper into the warmth of your own stillness. The stars blur softly. The air thickens with calm. You are drifting now, not walking, not thinking, simply floating through time and quiet light. You can let go, let the story fade. Let the night carry you where dreams are born. Far beyond Camelot, beyond memory, beyond waking, there is only rest. And as you drift there, you may hear one last whisper from that ancient realm, carried by the wind through the trees. Sleep now, dreamer of history, for the kingdom lives in you. The last torchlight fades. The last star softens. The screen of the mind dims to black. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go. Only sleep, only peace, only the soft rhythm of your breath, the same breath that once filled the lungs of every soul who walked these lands before you. Sleep, traveler. Sleep and dream of gentle kings and silent towers. Sleep and rest within the folds of time itself. And as the final echoes fade, a quiet voice speaks, not to awaken, but to bless. If this journey has brought you calm, if your heart has found stillness in these ancient dreams, consider staying a while. There are more stories to explore, more nights to rest within history. Subscribe, rest, and return whenever your spirit needs peace. The wind softens, the stars hold still, the world falls silent. Your breath is the only sound now, slow, steady, eternal. Sleep well, dreamer. You are safe, you are loved, you are home. Fade to silence.